Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Our top two stories tonight. A private plane slams into the Long Island Sound minutes after declaring an emergency, and a dine and dash turns deadly at a late night diner. And we begin on that second story out of East Hartford. Police say a teen shot himself while on the run. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Police say the teen was found shot in the leg. He later died at the hospital while undergoing surgery. Now, police say this all happened after the teen didn't pay his bill at a local diner.
Fox 61's Joe Monti spoke with people in the area about what happened.
Police responded to AAA Diner a little after 5 in the morning. The diner told police a group of people walked out without paying their $115 bill. Police pulled over a car near the diner, and that's when they say a 17-year-old took off running and set off a chain of events.
Around 3:30, 3 o'clock, they eat, and afterwards we are waiting. We gave them the bill to pay, but they didn't pay for like more than half an hour to 1 hour. They didn't complain. They didn't did anything. If they didn't like the food or something, but they just left.
The manager of the AAA Diner in East Hartford provided security footage that showed what happened early Sunday morning. Police were able to locate the group along Main Street, not far from the diner, but a 17-year-old in the group took off running. Police lost sight of the teen, but officers reported hearing a gunshot soon after. They found the 17-year-old male only a couple hundred yards away near the corner of Orchard and Main Street, shot in the leg. Police found a stolen pistol on the ground next to him, and officers believe the gun went off and hit the teen in the leg. Police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel tried to treat the teen's injury, and he was rushed to the hospital. But police reported he died while undergoing surgery. Deborah Turner and Robin McGee, longtime customers at the diner, couldn't believe what happened.
I'm just shocked. I'd never heard of anything even happening like that, and I really feel sorry for the family of the lost kid.
I just didn't think somebody would lose their life or something like that, you know? It's sad.
The manager of AAA Diner says he has to call the police to get people to pay sometimes, and usually it's peaceful. But he never expected what happened Sunday morning.
I don't know what happened, but later on I find out the kid shot himself. It's very tragic.
The investigation is ongoing, and we'll continue to monitor for updates. For more on what happened and the latest from police, check our website, fox61.com. In East Hartford, Joe Monti, Fox 61.
Ground, I just got word that there's an emergency inbound for runway 2. 2 souls on board. That's all the information I have right now. He's going to try to make it in.
What you just heard was an air traffic control transmission from Tweed New Haven Airport moments before a small plane with 2 souls on board crashed into the Long Island Sound.
Thankfully, they survived. The plane crashed off the coast of Branford. Fox 61's Stefan Reels has the details on what could have happened, plus a look at photos we just received.
Yeah, right here at the Stony Creek Marina, this is where the Coast Guard said 2 people were brought to land after their plane crashed into the Long Island Sound Sunday morning. And I had the chance to catch up with a few people who live out here in Branford, and they tell me they're just grateful no one lost their life in the situation. But overall, this still came as a shock to the community. And it all started with a call that came in just before 10:30 a.m.
242 Zulu, radar contact lost.
That was the last transmission Fox 61 obtained between 2 air traffic controllers as they tried to guide a Piper PA-32 aircraft to safety over the Long Island Sound. The issue happened soon after the plane first took off at 10:14 a.m. from Sikorsky Airport in Bridgeport. At 10:24, the pilot of the plane declared an emergency. Air traffic control officials communicated with the pilot to turn back towards land and try and make an emergency landing at Tweed New Haven Airport. However, the plane didn't make it and ended up crashing at 10:30 off the coast of Branford near the Thimble Islands. That moment caught the attention of people around nearby Stony Creek Pier over the course of the day, like Bill Smith.
Most people were surprised. The folks that were down here this morning, seeing the fire crew run out, hearing the Coast Guard on the radio. So I was shocked and concerned for the people on the plane.
Crews from the Coast Guard, Branford, Guilford, and other nearby towns were sent to rescue the 2 people on board that plane, all while the community waited with bated breath. By the time crews reached them, the plane was fully submerged. But luckily, the pilot and passenger were alert and suffered only minor injuries. The Coast Guard brought the two safely to shore before they were taken to a local hospital. A sigh of relief for the community that a tragic end had been avoided.
It's a terrible tragedy, and to have a positive outcome is what people have been talking about. Hat tip to the first responders. It was incredible that they were able to get there so quickly and get the guys from the water. That was real credit to them.
At the moment, the FAA has taken over the investigation into the crash. In Brantford, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
Developing in Boulder, Colorado tonight, the FBI is investigating a targeted terror attack. It happened during a weekly demonstration raising awareness for Israeli hostages. 6 people were burned with a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails. The FBI identified the suspect as 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Suleiman. Police say he yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack. Witnesses describe a chaotic situation of people with potentially life-threatening burns.
I jumped over this tiny little fence over to these 2 ladies on the grass, and it was 2 older ladies just kind of rolling around a little bit, and they had really bad burns all up on their legs. And then I went over to this other grass area that was right by the front entrance, and there were some people. There was another lady on the ground with really bad burns on her legs, just screaming.
The victims have not been publicly identified, but the FBI said all were between the ages of 67 and 68. The group attacked is called Run for Our Lives, and they have chapters across the country, including right here in Connecticut. And the man who organized the West Hartford chapter sent us a statement saying this attack won't stop their movement. Quote, "We have marched for the hostages held by Hamas every Sunday for a year. We are not going to stop until all the hostages, 58 of whom are still in captivity, are returned home."
We're working to learn more about a motorcycle crash in Harwinton. State police tell us the driver was seriously hurt. This happened on Lead Mine Brook Road sometime around 5 tonight. That's all troopers will tell us right now. Once we get an update on the victim, we'll share that with you.
And another person injured, this time in Willington, and this time after a tree fell on them. The fire chief in Willington told us 30 minutes ago that person has life-threatening injuries. It happened around 4:30 this afternoon on Timber Lane. We'll update you as soon as we learn more about their condition and about exactly what happened.
3 men will be charged after what police are calling a street fight in Waterbury on Friday night. Police were called to South Main Street just after 9 o'clock for reports of a group of men fighting in the road. 2 men were hurt and taken to the hospital. Esteban Garcia, Aaron Brown, and Jesus Arroyo, all from Waterbury, were arrested. Garcia faces the most serious charge, second-degree assault. The other 2 were released and promised to appear in court. The case still remains under investigation.
And Vernon police are looking for the man accused of attacking another man on a public bus. That person was captured on the bus's surveillance cameras. Police say the incident happened Wednesday afternoon when the CT Transit bus was at a bus stop. We don't know how seriously the victim was injured. If you think you recognize this man or if you saw anything that day, give Vernon police a call.
The Department of Homeland Security has removed a controversial list of so-called sanctuary jurisdictions from its website only days after posting it. This list named cities and states the federal government says aren't cooperating with immigration enforcement. It included 6 Connecticut cities, including Hartford and New Haven. It was posted Thursday, but as of tonight, there was a page not found error message in its place. Some communities on the list say they were wrongfully included, even those that support strict immigration policies. DHS says the list is still under review and it could be updated.
Well, the month of June is starting off on the right foot in the city of Hartford. The annual Capfest celebration was held, offering plenty of fun for the entire family. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot stopped by the block party celebration to check it out.
We started this 4 years ago, kind of coming out of COVID, and just giving our neighbors and all of our friends a chance to get out and re-meet each other and build a community.
Aaron Gill is the organizer of Hartford's Capfest. The annual event brings people from all over the city to the corner of Broad Street and Capitol Avenue for a block party celebration.
This is a neighborhood celebration. We're here on the north end of Frog Hollow on Capitol Avenue. We love our neighborhood. We love all the amazing things that are here. And we just want a chance to show it off and let people come down and enjoy all that we have here.
Food trucks, games, music, vendors, you name it. It was all packed into this little corner of Hartford's Frog Hollow neighborhood.
It's a great time. It's a great way to spend an afternoon building the community, knowing the community, and meeting others.
Plenty of community organizers and services were also on hand, offering neighbors valuable resources to help them and their families. But all in all, young or old, the name of the game at Capfest was all about fun.
Like the games.
Why?
Because they're interesting and yeah. Feels good to come here because there's a lot of kind people and welcoming people and like, yeah.
In Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Some people in Middletown use this first day of Pride Month to take care of the environment. Dozens gathered at the Philip Saladin Senior Center Senior Canoe and Kayak launch this afternoon. For Pride Paddle and Pull, they paddled out onto the river and then pulled out invasive water chestnut plants that threaten the local ecosystem. Organizers say events like this show pride can be celebrated in unique and impactful ways.
What better way to kick off Pride on June 1st than to do a little activism, to do a little, to get outside because it's beautiful, the sun really worked for us today, and to get rid of as much of this invasive species as we can.
Billingsley says water chestnuts have to be ripped out from the roots. If they're left floating, they will just reroot downstream. She says a big team like the one gathered today is needed to even put a dent in the problem.
This month will be filled with all sorts of events for Pride Month, celebrating equality for all. And tomorrow in Mansfield, there will be a special ceremony to raise the LGBTQ+ flag. Members of the LGBTQ+ caucus will speak tomorrow at the state capitol to mark the start of Pride Month while the legislative session comes to a close. And in Middletown, the city will host a ceremony to rededicate its Pride crosswalk along Main Street. That's scheduled for Thursday. These are just some of the many events coming up. We'll bring you plenty more all this month and highlight special stories celebrating pride and equality.